Oh, it looks delicious now. I am equally as excited about our next segment. Really have been looking forward to this for a while as we continue our focus on exceptional women and their achievements in their respective fields. Now, we're about to hone in on volunteer wildlife services. They've been honoring their female firefighters this Women's Month, honoring the women that, just like the men, are willing to go face to face with a blazing fire to literally save lives. And one of these women, highlighted by the organization, is Slee Mbele. She's been dedicating her time to volunteering as a firefighter for 2 years now at Newlands, being a full-time medical researcher as well, a project manager for the Department of Human Biology at UCT, and also the founder and CEO of Medical Storage Specimen Facility. So she's an entrepreneur. She believes all these roles within the organization are equally as important, and she joins us this morning to tell us how she does it. She sounds like the most phenomenal woman. Slee, a very good morning. Happy Women's Month and happy Monday. How are you?
Good morning, Graham. Good morning. I'm doing great. How are you? Thank you so much for having me.
An absolute pleasure. I think we actually reported on kind of you being one of these standout women that needs to be honed in on during Women's Month. Obviously, we need to be exploring this every day of the year, but what an opportunity on Women's Month to be able to highlight some incredible young women, and you certainly fit the bill. So congratulations on getting this platform. You decided to become a volunteer firefighter after a devastating fire in Muizenberg. Can you tell us a bit more about what motivated you and started this passion for firefighting? What caused you to take the leap?
Well, the Muizenberg fires were just so devastating. Thousands of acres of vegetation just destroyed. I felt helpless. I wanted to get involved. I needed to get involved. So I looked up VWS and I had to inquire about how, if somebody wants to volunteer, how do they go about it? I emailed, and, a year later, I got this email that, if you're still interested, these are the dates. I must just say that was the silver lining that I was waiting for the longest time, and was the best email ever.
It's one thing in theory, it's another thing when you actually get to it. As a woman in what I think is perceived as very much a man's world, and I've met many female firefighters, so I know that balance has swung considerably, but what were some of the challenges you experienced, and how did it match up to what you expected and the reality of what it's been like actually being out there fighting fires?
Honestly, growing up in a culture that, I'm Zulu, so growing up in a culture that believed that women belong in the kitchen, and if you wanted to add any value in society, you had to be, have a man or be married. Against all odds, I'm just grateful to actually my mom, who taught me, self-worth, values, and, a great work ethic. And basically the most important of all is, if you want things done, roll up your sleeves, and get your hands dirty. So I'm really grateful that, yes, we need a society that sees women and men as just people. But I believe it starts with mind, that as women, we need to start breaking down the barriers of believing that we are inferior. And I think the fire just really, balances that out. There's no gender there.
Yeah, it's a beautiful metaphor, but it gets very real very quickly, I would imagine. So let's talk about your 9 to 5. You're a medical researcher and a project manager for the Department of Human Biology at UCT, and then also an entrepreneur and founder of your medical storage facility. How do you balance everything out and still manage to be a volunteer at Wildlife Services? Wildfire, rather.
Lots of coffee.
Yeah, girl.
Yeah. But I'm just really grateful and very lucky to have a team that has such amazing work ethic, that supports my love and passion for nature. So a really shout out to my team. And just prioritizing, I think, plays a huge role. You need to plan, you need to, delegate, but with delegation, you also need to have that follow-up system to ensure all the goals have been achieved. But the truth of it all is that, if you are passionate and committed to any cause, not even the sky is the limit, really.
I mean, everything you've said has been motivational, but maybe you can speak to a young Slee right now. You can speak to a young woman that's wanting to break ground, maybe not just as a firefighter, but in any arena that is possibly dominated by the male kind of energy in that space. What words of wisdom, what motivation do you have for them?
Well, honestly, gender should never be a barrier in achieving one's goals. And by joining VWS, it was the best decision for me that I ever made. The fire doesn't discriminate, and it reinforced self-belief that all persons actually are equal. I had found my tribe. So, we encourage all women, all ages, all race to get involved. Give it a try. You never know until you try it. And you never know. VWS might just be your tribe too. So, if you're in the Cape Town, Stellenbosch area and you want to get your hands dirty, give it a try. But obviously, if fire is not your thing, there are other roles within the VWS or just within the Cape Town area. With VWS, you can be in planning, you can be a driver. So all skills are welcomed. And if getting involved is not your thing, but you want to support, we welcome donations as well. So you can check us out. We so grateful for all the support and all the donations. So just keeping in mind that sky is not even the limit.
Slee, you are amazing. Thank you so much. What an ambassador. I want to join your tribe. Thank you so much for...
Please, come on.
Come on, man. Thank you so much for spreading this message, and all the best to you and your amazing team. Slee and Bele, proving that even in what we perceive to be male-dominated arenas, women can thrive and shine. And we thank her and her team for providing such a vital service.